Oh, how is it going, y'all? We're back with another episode of Deadlands, Wayward Guns. As per usual, I'm gonna avoid talking too directly with chat once we get going. But for now, how you doing, Miku? How you doing, Gunfighter? Thanks for stopping by, and thank you for the Hydrate Redeem. So, so today is going to be a fairly light day as far as our session goes. Oh, goodness
Be
gracious.
dying. That hydrate was too much.
Yeah, my poor frail gamer constitution. I'm afraid I've got the vapors and the consumption.
Trying to drink water? You need Mountain Dew.
Ah, you're so right. I've been denying my non-existent hillbilly ancestors their libations.
Good.
Hello, absurd bird too. So, yeah, it's gonna be light. We may end up going a little short tonight, but short sessions can still be very sweet ones. It's a weirdly flirty way for me to start off, but you know who I love to platonically flirt with? The cast of this fantastic game. That was a segue. Going down the list, let's start off with Ellie.
Hi, my name is Ellie, or Eliador on Twitch, and Twitter, and other basically everything. I am repeatedly a big fat liar. I said I was going to stream. I didn't, but that was because I had a massive headache during the day one raid, and I actually had to drop out. So, and then I had a 39-degree fever the next day. So Celsius, 102-degree fever. That's yeah, it was bad. Anyways, yeah, I'm here to play Brigitta and shoot things maybe, but probably not today.
If we do end up shooting people today, something will have gone horribly, horribly wrong with the projected course of things. But what do I know? Maybe the party will just spontaneously decide to slaughter the entire city of Chicago. I don't know.
Hey, worse things have happened by players.
Oh boy. Next down the list we have the one person I am not platonically flirting with at the moment, Epitome.
Because you're just flirting with me, plain and simple. I'm Epitome. I don't stream. I'm the GM's boyfriend. With all that entails.
I feel like at this point you have class change ranked up from boyfriend to fiance. Like I feel like that's a little stronger of a term.
Well, yeah, but at the same
time
time,
we've said this.
Yeah. I know, but I don't know. There might
what a gag.
There might be someone who's watching this for the first time. If you are, oh my god, I am so sorry. You deserve better than joining in
look,
this far in.
Class of GM is a player class. Class of GM. Girlfriend or boyfriend of GM is a player class.
But then you prestiged into fiance of GM.
They don't update like that. That's just like an extra branch off of it.
Yeah, well, we'll have to get it. We'll have to get it in the patch notes for the next time then. All right, continuing. Oh, yes, continuing.
Get your flu shot.
Yeah, get your flu shot. I was waiting for that part.
This has been your public service announcement. Then continuing down the list, we have Hemlock.
I'm Hemlock. I play Parrot. I make VTubers, and I currently have a really bad sunburn in the shape of a moon on my titties.
Oh no!
Ooh.
Is it at least a pretty moon?
I wore a cute goth swimsuit to a work
pool
party.
That sounds nice.
But you didn't do cute goth sunscreen?
I used a little bit, but like we had fun at the party. Me and my partner, we do not have fun at parties, and we stayed like 2 hours longer than planned. And I stood facing the sun.
I hate to say I feel that, but I feel that. I think since the last time we were here, B and I had a beach day, and my back was to the sun, and I thought I put on enough sunscreen. I did not put on enough sunscreen.
Other players, do you want to see my fucked up cleavage?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Trick question.
Viewers, you will have to wait until it drops on Hemlock's fan sleeve to see the same.
It's
gargoyles.
paypal.me/hemlock. Don't put it in the notes.
Yeah, Hemlock is a very talented artist, and you should definitely consider commissioning them if you're in the market for art. And last but not least, we have Obsidia.
Hey everybody, I'm Obsidia, everybody's favorite Death Knight. I play everyone's kookiest blood mage Xenobia in this game. You can catch me on Mondays and Wednesdays over on my Twitch channel. I run D&D on Monday. We are 50 sessions in to the campaign. On Wednesdays, I do games or art. The end.
It is a very strange form of endorsement that I offer when I say that y'all should definitely check out the Ashes of the Last War, the D&D campaign that she runs. I am not able to watch it because I cry very easily. But you should definitely do
dirty
it.
Estrogen.
But you should definitely do it so you can enjoy just absolutely ruining yourself emotionally.
It's great
I
because
love crying.
their the current quest they are on is literally nonstop trauma about one of their companions as they literally battle their inner demons. So enjoy.
And normally there would be one more player here, Geronimo Kiddo. Unfortunately, Geronimo is currently in recovery from having a terrible gamer chair related injury the other day. We're expecting to have her back in time for the next session, but for now we simply have to offer our thoughts and prayers for her. All right, and with all that, I think we're taken care of for everything. So, this is a little bit of a tradition I have with the RPGs that I run, where between big adventures as a little reward for the party doing well, or if they need a little bit of aftercare after something, I like to try and give them what I call love letters. Just because, I am, despite the fact that I'm also the one controlling all of the things trying to kill you, a big fan of your characters. I want to see you succeed, or at the very least, interestingly fail. And after the last session we had, where you ended up fighting a man who had merged with the heart of a pre-Columbian flesh god thing, demon. I think that's worth a little TLC. So
Nasty man.
sure, nasty man.
The meat fucker.
I was gonna say a meat pervert. Yes.
He was a meat pervert. I don't think canonically, word of God, that he ever actually fucked the meat, but he definitely was. He definitely did perversions of the natural order of what one should be doing properly with meat.
Like beating it.
Yes, tenderizing. That's very important for things like steaks. I agree. So let's see. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm gonna roll a die here to see whose downtime we get to start with. Okay. So we are going to be starting off with Parrot. Now, Parrot, as with everyone in the party, I'm going to be asking a similar question to all of y'all. How do you recover from what was, if not your first, certainly one of your first truly significant encounters with the unnatural?
Parrot loves healthy coping mechanisms, like not being viewed by the people that care about you. Hiding. Hiding and avoidance. 2 incredibly healthy coping mechanisms that Parrot fucking loves.
All right.
She's not even in the hotel.
Oh. Now, y'all have a week downtime, I'm going to say. So, is it a consistent thing that people looking for you just will not find you in the hotel, or is it more a sense of you can probably find her there when everyone is actively asleep, but the second the day really starts going, no one can find hide or hair of her?
It would probably be like the first night she would not even go back. She is sharing a room.
That is true.
And so it would probably be like one night of like she just doesn't sleep. It like pull an all-nighter at like a weird bar on the other side of town. And then like slink back to sleep when everyone has like gone out and done stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And then later on come back to the actual hotel to sleep, and then maybe after like 4 days she can hold in the stress good enough.
Okay. To the rest of the posse, is Parrot trying to actively hide the fact that she is avoiding the others, or?
Kind of. Not like doing it well. But doing that whole like I need some time to myself thing anytime someone tries to like ask you to go to dinner or something.
All right. So it's not something that you're like actively trying to hide.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone, we'll get back to the consequences of this one way or the other in a little bit, but does anyone notice this change in behavior? You can roll for it if you want. You can decide out of character, since this is largely just a role play session.
I think Min would, but wouldn't comment on it.
Okay.
I think Brigitta would as well. And would probably recognize a similar tendency in what she would do when she's not doing well. And would leave a note that just asks if she wants her own room that she will pay for.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh.
All right. So in that case, I think it's the first night that you spend away out at the spar. It's on the far side of town. Let's say, okay. You end up going into the Chinatown district. Actually, it looks like it's a fairly good place if you want to avoid a lot of people who are going to actively be trying to talk with you or ask about anything. Doesn't hurt that for many of the people there, it might be an English as second language situation. But you're able to get a drink without having to really worry about anyone asking you about things. There is a not too much going on in the bar tonight. I should give this a specific name. Let's go with... This is a bar attached to the Kim Key Trading Company. And the Kim Key Company's bar is a pretty quiet, low-key location. The thing that you do notice, the only real active signs of life going on around here, is that there's a active gambling game going on in one of the corners.
Ah, yes, gambling, my favorite game.
Do I know the game that they're playing?
Yeah. It looks to be from just you've got good vision. You're able to see from the bar without having to approach. From watching a couple of hands of it, it looks like it's some variation of poker. So you've got a basic idea of what you're working with here. I will say, though, you find it a touch odd that despite how much hushed betting seems to be going on in this game, that there doesn't actually look to be that much money on the table. There are, however, strange little trinkets that have been wrapped up in cloth bundles or folded pieces of old faded paper, things like that.
I'm gonna go over.
All right. You go over just as a particularly enthusiastic hand comes winding down to a close as the deck is reshuffled. There are 3 other people at the table. One of them is a man with tan skin, blonde hair that's pulled back into a ponytail, and a mustache, goatee to match. There's another person there who looks to be a little more native to Chinatown by their general looks. They're dressed in a more westernized one-piece suit. And the third person is the third person is you don't recognize the so the third person is unremarkable in their appearance, but well, for that, I guess they're sort of a more nondescript person. He's got short-cut hood brown hair, wearing sort of like a work person's overalls. Doesn't look like he's having particularly good luck here. He's just trying to find some sort of game, I suppose. He's pretty much just about leaving at this point, too, and not having a particularly successful night. But you do notice that as he tosses down his cards and pulls back from the table, that one of the bits of paper that was making up the betting stash here is a ticket for the Crossroads Circus, which you would know as your circus, or your former circus at least.
Oh. Is that guy leaving right now?
Yes, it looks like the ticket was amongst sort of a collection of strange bits and bobs that were being used for stakes, for bets, for winnings. So he is not leaving with that ticket.
Okay. Parrot's gonna slide into his seat.
Okay. The blonde man looks up at you as the Chinese man is shuffling the fresh deck and regards you with looking up and down once over before he nods. Well, hello there, miss. Are you looking for a quick and dirty game of cards?
I might be.
Name's Bennett Fitzcharles. Pleasure.
Parrot.
Well, Parrot. Lovely lyrical name you have there. I have been trying to find a match for Mr. Moy here, he says. The shuffling man looks up to give a nod of welcome, but it's been a little too vicious with most of the folks looking to play, driving everyone away. I don't know much about your skills, Ms. Barrett, but I don't suppose you'd be willing to see if we can give this old so-and-so. And at this point, Mr. Moy is says under his breath, "Oh, you're one to talk. A good time so we might ease up on some of the folks around here."
Sure.
Alrighty then. Well, we aren't playing much for typical fare when it comes to winnings and losings of money, but if you have anything interesting, anything with a story, or something that you might be looking to part with, perhaps, then we can certainly find something of equivalent value for you if and you win. You shouldn't pay too much
Camelot.
attention to this fop. Yeah. Fop, I think is the word. Oh, I've been called a fop before, Mr. Moore, but yes, don't mind him. He tends to talk to many people, usually women, this way.
Parrot thinks for a second. And pulls out her pocket knife. And it's one of those with like a fancy wooden handle with an engraving on it. But the wooden part is like burnt to shit.
Mm-hmm.
And she puts it down on the table.
Mm. It looks functional enough. Is this up to your standards, Mr. Fitzcharles? Oh, well, this is quite a lovely little work on the handle here. I wouldn't turn my nose up at such a lovely little piece of work. Sit right down and we'll deal you on in.
All right.
All right. So, for this, I'm gonna. Dang it. Yep. Got specific rules for how gambling works, but essentially, gonna be one simple rule that we work off of here. Goodness gracious, I'm just making a mess of myself here.
I briefly lost my internet. Did you say more than
No.
what
No.
you just said?
I said nothing.
Okay.
All right. So, I would say give me a gambling check, and remember that since you are a huckster, you have a +2 to this.
Well,
Ooh. Unfortunate. Do you want to spend any chips?
I'm looking through my skills really quick. So I have an idea.
Ooh.
how easy would it be to hide using a trick?
Hide using a trick. Which trick are you looking to use?
Copy.
Okay.
I want to copy that ticket and switch it out.
Oh. All right. Let's see. Do you have okay, you've got sleight of hand. I think this would be a sleight of hand roll. I would say if you are adding things into the pot, you could probably hide the movement fairly well. It looks like that the Mr. Moy and Mr. Fitzcharles are not particularly as focused. They're sort of doing that thing where two people who have known each other long enough to both get used to and get sick of someone else's foibles and little quirks are sort of bickering a bit between themselves.
Okay.
I'd say 5. Pretty standard.
Okay. Should I roll for the trick before I try and swap anything out?
Yeah, because the trick could still fail.
Yeah. And I have only cast a spell a single time other than this, so you may need to assist me.
No problem. So tricks work a little different than the standard hexes in that you only draw one card, but you don't have to be shooting for a specific hand of any kind of value. Instead, you just draw the one card. If it's red, the trick works. If it's black, it doesn't.
Okay.
Simple as can be.
Okay. I will draw. It is black.
Unfortunate. So you're not able to this turn now.
They rolled so well in their casting.
I know.
Although, let me see. Let me see how much these two are even particularly paying attention, because you might yet be able to just light of hand it out of there anyway.
Okay. While I am in this menu, I'm converting my hits into bounty points.
That's another thing during this, if anyone wants to role play out anything new in terms of abilities gained or increasing levels of things.
I am also playing a Savage Worlds campaign, and so it's very hard to not call them bennies, and I will probably call them bennies.
Oh, that's
sometime.
fine. Don't sweat it.
I've played many years of Savage Worlds. That is very relatable.
Yeah, I think if you want to try and push it, you might be able, while the odd couple is still sort of bickering between each other, you might be able to yoink something out of there. Otherwise, you can try waiting for some point later down.
I really need to redo some of these skills.
This is certainly something that we can work out during this or afterwards too. I'm pretty much always down.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and steal it.
All right. Now, before you trade in all of your fate chips, remember that you can still spend white chips to re-roll or red chip or higher to add on to what you've rolled with another.
Yeah, I'm spending a white chip to re-roll.
I believe in you.
Well,
attempts were made.
I mean, it's certainly closer. Do you want to push it with a red chip?
Red chips you add, so that makes it a little bit better.
yeah, I'll do that. I'll just subtract from the bounty points that I had already put in. Yeah, I'm gonna add. What would I roll?
The same thing again. It's treated like as if you had rolled an ace where you get to re-roll.
Oh.
So it will be 4 plus 2. Yeah. I would say that's enough. You're not able to get the duplicate down there, but you're able to still grab a hold of that ticket before the other two at the table pay particularly much attention to it.
Okay. Do I want to just leave, or will that be too suspicious?
I mean, it's up to you. Do you want to try and play a round, or?
I'll play one more round. I have to put something else in, don't I?
Yeah, if you can't find anything that you want to risk, you can also try and use money instead.
I'll just put my binoculars in.
Okay. Alrighty. So then you can give me another. You know what? I want to give you a little bit of a shot here. So you can use your choice of gambling or, let's say, bluff.
Well, I can do bluff. That's a 15.
What does it sound like when you fully convince the two guys at the table that you have just an absolute crushing hand?
Parrot pulls the cards up with that little like flourish people do to look at their hand, and just goes whew, just like a little exhale, a little raise of the eyebrows, tiny little bit of a smirk.
All right. Don't think they're going to be beating that for scrutinize, but yeah. Mr. Moy just sort of sighs and with his hand down on the table. Fitzcharles squints and tries to discern a little more, but he also ends up folding. And you have the current pot. The current pot consisting of $6, as well as your knife, the binoculars, technically the Crossroads Circus ticket, a copy of Hoyle's Book of Games,
Ooh.
I see.
a old-looking pipe, broken off end of a horseshoe, and a railroad ticket in sort of a faded gold-looking paper. Well, I do declare that I believe you have taken us to the cleaners, which, well, when one is in Chinatown, is not a particularly far walk, but a walk nonetheless. And Mr. Moy just sort of and puts his chair back as he puts his heels on the table. Well, that might have put some of the gumption out of my companion here, but I hope you enjoyed the fiddling of the stakes as they were. Might find something useful there. Who knows? Pleasure playing cards with you regardless, Miss Parrot.
How much do drinks cost here? Just like a beer.
Let's see. I think that is... You're looking for a glass, a shot, a bottle?
I was gonna buy them around before I leave.
Oh, alright. If you're looking for glasses, that would be 5 cents a glass. If you're looking at shots, that's 10 cents.
I'll leave each of them $1.
Spicy.
And say it's way past my bedtime. It was quite fun. See ya. And just go back.
All right. Okay, so that leaves you with four. I believe I said $5 initially, right? Or is it 6?
You said 6.
Okay.
But I gave myself 4.
Yep. So that leaves you with $4. Crossroads Circus ticket. And then the 3 other odds and ends that it's up to you. What? Oh, and the Hoyle's Book of Games.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that you want to do with any of that stuff?
Not this very second.
Okay. All right. Taking a look over your winnings, you make note that the date for the circus is remarkably close, by which I mean it is tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. Head into bed?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I suppose we could go day by day here, but I assume this is like what you're doing the day right after, since it was like it was late night, early morning when you finished up last with that fight. So yeah, I think then you could do that. We could do that next if you like. Or we could do y'all want to go day by day for each person, or should I finish up with Parrot's stuff first?
My stuff is kind of over the course of a week things.
All right. Well, the next day rolls around. We'll stick with Parrot for now. And is there anything Parrot does during the day? The show itself is set to start at 6 p.m.
Parrot wants to buy a hat.
Alrighty. Let's see.
It doesn't have to be a whole thing. She just wants to cover her hair and ears.
Alright.
Situation.
For some reason, I'm imagining one of those paperboy kind of hats.
You know? Yes.
I think she'd look very cute in that.
Alright, I would call that, let's say...
Could I buy one off of a paperboy? That would make me happiest.
You know what? Sure.
Hey, missus.
As you're, with how popular McClellan Outfitters is, there's absolutely just a small Chicago newsie that's hollering at people the next day, staked up outside of the Outfitters, since there's going to be so much traffic coming in and out there. X-ray! X-ray! Read all about it! Local arsonist exonerated in the community. Tales of strange rat people. Read all about it.
Parrot walks up and pays him for a newspaper. First of all.
Alright, I think, gosh, well, if 5 cents is I guess that would be like maybe You know what? I'll get back to you on the price. I'm sure I can figure this out. For now, go on.
Is he like standing on the street, or like on like a milk crate or something?
I
Can I
think
do a little kneel to talk to a child?
I don't see why not.
It's important for the image in my head, the painting that I'm painting.
I think we're probably looking at like let's go with like a 10-cent thing.
Okay.
Hey, Daggy, this is a child.
Parrot,
Thank you, Obsidia, for dropping that autistic info dump. You're doing a good service.
People don't know
Doing
enough
Lord's
yield
work.
expressions.
Parrot kneels down to talk to this kid and pulls out a whole $1. And says,
Holy smokes! That's a whole $1.
Any chance I can buy that hat off of you?
For a whole $1, man. You could buy the shoes off my feet. Probably shouldn't, though. It's very cold still.
I don't think they'd fit.
He nods solemnly in that way that a child, when confronted with something very obvious, will nod. Fair enough. Hat's yours. You have acquired hat.
Fuck it. She takes it, gives him a little salute, and then walks off. After giving him $1.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. It's a little bit of a tight fit since it is a child's hat, but you're still able to get enough of your messy tresses in there to hold it down in place.
Hell yeah. She just kind of wanders around until I think she'd wait until the circus started to go in.
Okay. There we go. All right, so you head over to the site. It's honestly pretty nearby the train stations here. Why go through all the trouble of setting up a tent blocks and blocks away from where you're loading and unloading your caravan of circus supplies when you can just get a nice high traffic location maybe a block away? So you're able to find it, and it's the Crossroads Circus is largely, I would say, how you remember it. It's a community of a bunch of usually pretty strange folks that are more or less getting by with a decent sort of standard of living, though it does also it does have a couple of the more lowbrow things to appeal to broad audiences, but at the very least, the circus is proud that they have never had to work with a geek before, never had a geek act. They have standards.
This is geek erasure.
Look, some circuses just think they can do better than having acts where someone bites the head off of a live chicken. Wait, what did you think I meant by geek act?
No, I knew what you meant. I said this was erasure.
Oh, okay. Anywho, they're setting it up, and you can see that there's not too much in the way of outdoor sideshows here, largely because shit's cold. It's March in Chicago, which means it's basically the equivalent of the depths of December in any reasonable climate. But you do have the big top itself here. Are you looking for anything in particular? They do still have things like the performers' wagons and tents and those things set up for them to prepare for the show. But is there anything you go to try and find, anyone you're looking for, or are you just looking for the show first?
Parrot is just looking to catch the main show.
All right.
She doesn't really want to be recognized.
Oh, okay. All right.
And you said this would be a short game.
Yeah?
Yeah, we've been 1 hour on one person.
Well, not
I'm
everyone.
not saying hurry up. I'm more of a, well, this isn't going to be a short game like you said.
Brat.
You love me, you know it.
I do. So, as the hours wear on and the show time comes finally. Whoa! That's louder than I was expecting. Let's lower that down, shall we? There we go. The tent starts to whir to life with a frantic energy. The show starts off with the ringleader. The ringleader was never the same as the owner of the show. They managed more from a distance, but the ringleader comes out and in this big, booming voice starts announcing the acts, the greatest show you'll see this side of the Mississippi, this side of the Mason-Dixon line, this side of any forms of national division. A wonder to behold for those of all ages, makes, and creeds. The Crossroads Circuses is finally back in town. And with this roaring aplomb, with this roaring response to this aplomb and presentation, the show finally begins. It starts off, of course, with the clown acts. You probably recognize a couple of these people, though obviously made slightly more difficult by the grease paint and the costumery that goes on with their acts. Beyond that, you probably would also know some of the other acts. They do have a lion tamer, though today it looks like they're working with local bears. You probably don't have as much of a head for animals as you do with other things, though, so I imagine this is just as magical to you as it might be to other people.
I was gonna say, how do you tell a bear is local beyond its Chicago accent.
Well, I mean, Chicago is famous for the bears.
Da bears.
Bears.
Oh boy. But
Do they play baseball?
No,
no,
that's the Cubs.
unfortunately.
Oh.
But as the show goes on, you're sort of lulled back into this comforting sense of familiarity. These are, if not specific people that you know, as many members of the circus will come and go as they travel throughout. At the very least, the familiarity of the acts themselves, that they make you feel more at ease, a little more at home. Though you are given a little bit of cause for pause when one act in particular comes up. Straight from the flowers of the Sonora Desert, the Mexican roses, Maddie and Emilia. And the spotlight points upwards towards the top of the tent as you see two acrobats dropping down on swinging trapeze. Acrobats that you knew quite well. This is Emilia, or Millie, and Matilda, Maddie, Esperanza, and they were perhaps some of the closest people you had living in the circus. How does Parrot feel about that?
Parrot actually pulls out the binoculars that she almost gambled away last night. And she's actually watching their form. Like checking the tricks that like they were having trouble with, checking to see if they actually incorporated stuff that they were talking about, like someday figuring out. She is mostly just like she wants to make sure that they are okay.
They do seem to be doing splendidly tonight. Give me a quick cognition roll. Yeah, you see that they're right at home. They are perfectly composed tonight. You can see the flex of the muscles as they go, the practiced precision that they execute these moves with. And you also notice, as the act is going on, and I think it's because of your familiarity with them that you notice that when they're going on the downswing out towards the audience, it looks like they're looking around. And you would swear there is a moment where Maddie looks directly at you. It's there and gone as far as moments go, though, so it's hard to say with any specificity, but you get a distinct feeling that the twins are aware of you one way or another.
She's gonna try and slip out.
All right. The show is still going on, so the flying Sonoran roses, Maddie and Millie, are not able to follow you, even if that was something that they wished or were aware enough to do. And you find yourself outside. You can still hear the din of applause and the cheers of crowds inside, the barking of the ringmaster and the various acts going on. It's familiar, it's homey, but it perhaps doesn't quite feel as homey or homely as you would like at this point.
It's very bittersweet for Parrot, because she abandoned them.
Mm.
She's gonna quickly look for their tent.
All right. So it's a fairly easy task to do. You're very familiar with how the Crossroads Circus sets up. And as you slip around back, obviously, most of the audience and the general public is already inside watching the show. Backstage, as it were, you're able to see a lot of the coming and going, and a lot of people you don't recognize because the turnover of a lot of the cast and crew, but you're able to get in without too much worry, to the general area of performers' tents. And yeah, I'm not going to make you roll for it. I think that you're able to get into the tent if that's what you'd like.
Yeah, she's gonna try and slip in, leave them the rest of the money she won gambling, and just go back to the hotel. Just leave before anyone sees her.
Ooh, okay. All right. As you are coming back out, I imagine this is a quick in, out, leaving as soon as you can deal.
Yeah.
All right. As you are coming back out, give me a sneaking roll.
I'm gonna guess this is gonna go about as well as all my other rolls. I got okay sneak. Oh.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty okay. Yeah. I mean, I'll roll to see, but I have a funny feeling that 17 is going to be hard for anyone to catch sight of you. Yeah, they got closer than I would have expected, but not close enough. You're able to slip away into the evening. And is there anything else that you are looking to do in this week in particular that you have planned, at least? Obviously, I can drum up a couple of things here and there, I'm sure.
I would like to read I'd like to go through the fucking book, but I don't know exactly how learning new spells work, so I might just save that for later because I have already taken like almost an hour and a half.
Well, I will make note of that's what you are doing during this time, and I will circle back to that at a later point myself. All right. Well, now that we have little of an idea of what's been going on this week, let's roll for who's next. All right, next up is Min.
Oh, really? Shoot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm rolling. It's what the dice wants.
I'll take it.
So, is there anything before I get into any part of the love letter here that you specifically think Min would be doing during this downtime of a week to recover?
Writing a letter.
Okay. To whom?
Well, I mean, it's going to be in Chinese, so even if anyone looks over her shoulder, the other players aren't going to know. If you want me to
Out
get
of
into more detail,
curiosity, do any of the other players try to see this?
No,
Nope.
I don't care.
Yep.
All right, go on. I will say I will, because I want you to be able to keep some of the secrets here. So I will say, would you vaguely allude either to the nature, the contents, or
Can we move into a private voice channel, or would that screw up the stream?
I see.
Like, how necessary is it to talk about it now?
We can have it wait then. So,
Okay,
needless to say, there is a private letter that Min
If
writes
you
during
know
this downtime.
you know who the recipient is.
I have a strong inkling, yes.
Yep. Also, I apologize. I have the hiccups right now.
That's okay. So, is there anything else in particular that Min is going to be doing during this downtime of their own accord?
Not while Parrot has a very healthy coping mechanism of avoidance. Min just avoids people to begin with, so she'd probably just hang low in the room reading from a book, which is weird because it's been determined that she can't read already.
Fair. Now, in one of the occasions that you have found during this week of downtime to have to leave the room, perhaps for a particular meal or what have you, you are approached by a couple of people in the dining hall. They look to be members of the broader Chinese community here in Chicago.
Okay.
They approach and they try first in Chinese. Oh, Min, does Min have ranks? Is that Min's native language, or is that
That's Min's
English?
native language. English is not her native language.
All right. So yes, you can hear that they're speaking in Mandarin, and the two of them, there's a man and a woman there, are asking, "Are you, excuse me, are you the one who spread the story about the thing in the railroad tunnels?"
If you mean the person who let those who needed to know, please ignore the hiccups. Then yes. Again, all in Chinese.
Mhm. All right. They they turn to they turn to look at each other and sort of nod a little bit in agreement. "If it would please you, a friend of ours in the community would like to have a word with you."
What kind of friend?
They are they're a little slow to address it, but uh, he is a very important older brother in the Chinatown community.
Okay. All right. She was more looking to see if they meant law enforcement. But she's okay going in this case.
Okay. All right. So they offer you a little slip of paper that has a address in Chinatown on it, and if you so choose to, you can go there at any point. There's not really a specified time other than uh, sometime after 10, before 8.
Okay. Then I would probably go later in the evening tonight.
Okay. All right. So later on that night, you end up heading down into Chinatown, and there is there's a there's a whole separate feeling world to being in Chinatown. It feels at once intimately familiar to anyone who has any degree of upbringing in Chinese cultures, but there's still an inescapable feeling of foreignness to that too, due to the mixing and melding of other American cultures. In particular, though, this is this is a address that you would find. It is a restaurant Where did I put that name? There we go. The Onlyong Chinese bistro.
The Onion?
Onlyong.
Okay.
But yes, you're able to easily head on in there. It's inside, wouldn't you know it? An awful lot of Chinese American people. Amazingly, who could have guessed?
Who could have guessed?
But yeah, I imagine. Has Min ever been to any major enclaves of Chinese immigrants or first or second generation Chinese Americans before?
Outside of the ones she grew up around, not really.
Oh, how does Min feel in this environment?
Slightly uncomfortable, but not enough where she wants to leave.
All right. There is. Gosh, now I have things I'm clearing my throat for too. I blame this on you, love.
Hey, hiccups aren't contagious.
Okay, sure.
And I can't remember what that trick was that worked last time.
So, there is a woman at the front. There's a little podium. She's sat behind there on a stool. And as you enter in, she addresses you. Hello and welcome to the Onyong Bistro. Do you have a reservation?
I hold up the piece of paper they gave me.
Oh, I see. Yes, please take table 7. And she points to a far corner where there's this little rounded booth. And Mr. Moy will see you soon.
Thank you. And she does so.
Okay. So you're left to your own devices for a little bit, and as you start to wonder if you're being strung along, there is finally a man that meets you there. He's on the older middle age end of things, looks very tired, but from the quality of his clothes, his suit, pretty well to do as well. Hello. I assume that you are the one that my assistants sent for?
I believe so.
He reaches out a hand. I am Moi Dong Cho, and I would first like to thank you for your services. As he sits down.
I trying to think, does she introduce herself yet or not?
Oh, you can lie if you want.
She's not that fast thinking. Thank me.
Yes, you have done very well by our community. And Chicago's Chinatown wishes to extend offers of reciprocation, however we may. You see, there are quite a number of members of our community who are still a part of the railroad industry, and not an insignificant number would have been at severe risk working in such close confines to the terrible things I have heard you dealt with.
It wasn't nice.
So I've heard.
Not at all.
But now that I have the honor of meeting you, as the unofficial mayor of Chinatown, I would like to offer my assistance in whatever way I may repay this honor.
I don't know if what I need right now is something you can offer realistically. I can ask for it. I'm not sure if it is something that is reasonable to ask.
I see. And I'm terribly sorry, but how should I address you?
Minghua Sutter.
Minghua. Sutter. An unusual last
Yes.
name.
It has been it is a complicated story.
Well, if you have need of an alternative last name, as many of our community has been on occasion requiring, you're welcome to consider yourself a member of the Moi clan.
Thank you. That actually does help in some ways. Out of character, how do you spell that?
Moy. And
Thank you.
historically, that is actually the largest concentration of the clan name in Chicago's Chinatown.
It might be better for me to go by that. I may ask to turn in that favor through protection.
Protection.
I know, admittedly, the people who are looking for me are out in the maze, so it may not be something that is relevant yet. But I do have people looking for me, and I'd rather not be found.
I see. Well,
At least not until the truth comes out and my name is cleared.
Well, as a extended member of our community, we of course are more than happy to assist in mutual aid. I do not see many people making the journey from Shanfan to Chicago, but with the Iron Dragon extending its line, one can never be certain. Very well.
Thank you.
I do not mean to pry, but how does one find yourself in the position of demon slaying.
My wife enjoys stories of the heroic, and I wish to make her happy.
I see. Well, I certainly would not turn down the efforts of a noble fighter such as yourself, if you are so inclined. And as you have done much for our community already, there is no demand that you do further. But if you are inclined, there are other things, matters of unnatural trouble that our community has found in our humble town that could well be further opportunities for this adventuring that you look for. And although I may sound as if I impose on you further requests, I can assure you that any work you would do for the Chinese community of Chicago, or the work you do between us and the larger city around us, will not go unrewarded as well.
I would be interested, yes.
Very well. I will have a missive sent to. Is the McClellan Outfitters still your residence?
As of now, yes. I have a feeling at least one of the people that helped during the incident would wonder where I went if I did not show back up.
Of course. I will have a missive sent with more information in a day, perhaps two. I will see how quickly the community can assess the issue. For now, though, please, do enjoy tonight. The build is on the house.
Thank you. And she looks genuinely honored.
Okay.
Even with her flat effect, she looks genuinely like, damn.
Okay. All right. So, the next, let's see. Yeah, I'll make this convenient. This will be the same day that the circus came into town. I go through the trouble of giving unnecessary work. There is a report of there is a report sent to you that there may have been something unknown brought in a recent train shipment from the west coast of Shanfan. something that is not quite living or dead. Something with very stiff legs. And they could do with assistance in trying to find where it got to.
Okay. Oh no. Oh, those things are cute.
Not when they're trying to kill you.
No, but all the depictions I know of them, they're cute. Oh,
Right.
she would definitely take that opportunity.
All right.
We don't have to take that opportunity now if you want to hold off and go on to someone else.
I think we can wrap back around. I'm not expecting anyone to actually go out and solve these issues in this session. This is more me offering you a tasty little amuse-bouche of potential story hooks that you could choose to follow.
That term always sounds dirty to me.
What? Because I'm amusing your bouche?
Exactly.
I don't know. All right. So that got just 2 stories left to check in on. So, all right. Brigitta, it's your turn. How does Brigitta spend downtime?
The first day, she would try to find, and I assume such a place exists, a shooting range.
So Chicago is a no-gun city, so...
I was about to say, for your illegal firearm?
You can... I'm sure there's a place where you could rent a gun for, like, a shooting range where you could rent a gun. Like, obviously, I wouldn't bring my own. But, like, shooting clubs and things like that were a thing around that time.
I mean, there's still forested areas near Chicago, right? Mm-hmm. I imagine you could just, for a day, hoof it out into the
horse,
rough
so I'll take
area around there. And from there, you would be able to just, you're technically out of city limits. No one's going to be able to take a measuring tape to prove, actually, you were still within the confines of Chicago metropolitan. No.
Yeah. So I'll take my horse and I'll ride outside the city to a forested area, somewhere pretty secluded, but a place where I can have like a good, like, long shooting stretch. And I'm gonna spend the entire day just shooting, venting all frustration and anger and fear and everything with every shot.
Okay.
And then on the next day, she's gonna go track down the feelers that she sent out to find. I need to find my doc. One sec. What was his name? Ebe Hansen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had put a bunch of feelers out, and I'm going to follow up on all of them on the day after.
One of your searches did find purchase, and looking through local couriers, you were able to find Ebe Hansen.
Mm-hmm.
How would you go about trying to meet with Ebe?
I would go to his place of residence. I would go there probably relatively late. Not late enough that someone would be asleep, but late enough for it to be like guaranteed that they're home.
All right.
Generally
I
speaking.
think that Ebe is probably staying at sort of a boarding house setup, apartments essentially.
Mm-hmm. And I would go assemble my gun and knock on his door with my gun hidden.
Okay. This is going in fun directions. All right.
Mm-hmm.
There is the sound of casual footsteps, and then the door opens a little. Hello?
Are you Ebe Henson?
Yes. Is there something I can help you with?
I've been looking for you. You sent a message to my father. May I come in?
I suppose so. He opens the door a little wider.
I walk in. I'll kick the door closed and point the gun at him.
Whoa, whoa. Hey, there's no need to be violent here. I'm sure we can. If you're looking for money, I really don't have much.
I don't want your money.
Okay.
You sent a missive to Jon's master son.
I did.
I'll cock the gun.
I did. I mean, oh, that is a very large gun. I did, but it is the policy of couriers services that we do not look at the message.
Who sent the message?
I don't know. It is a freelance service.
Who would know?
Okay. Let's not be too hasty. I didn't see the message, but I can tell you what I did see. He seemed very very upset with it. Sort of guilty, remorseful, maybe. I found it strange that he didn't just send it to the office telegraph. I okay. I tried to find it later, but it never went into the waste baskets of the office. I don't know what it said. If it is still there, then it has to still be in his office somewhere. That's all I know.
Whose office?
His office.
My father's.
Yes.
Who sent it? Who gave you this missive?
I do not know.
I put the barrel on his forehead.
He says louder, I do not know.
Swear.
I swear that I do not know who hired out this courier service. I was simply told to pick it up from a park and to deliver it.
Who told you this?
My manager.
Who's your manager?
My manager? Steve
Name?
Jorgensen.
Where do I find them?
Oh, he works out of the Chicago Courier Services office, but we get plenty of anonymous requests coming in.
All right. Do I believe him?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Scrutinize.
Is there a roll I can make to see if I believe him?
Scrutinize.
Scrutinize. 8.
Okay.
That's not bad.
I
That is not
will
bad.
roll either persuasion or bluff. I legally do not tell you which.
That's absolutely fine.
Oh, it's cocked. It looks like he is too nervous by the presence of Gun to be particularly thoughtful or well prepared to come up with a lie here.
All right. In that case, I pull the trigger and leave as fast as I can.
Wowza!
Oh, you just kill a
Holy
man.
shit.
Cold-blooded murder.
I made an oath.
Wow.
We agreed on how bad it was gonna be.
Yeah, I just wasn't expecting that after someone told you all of the things they know that you would still be just killing them.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Well, it looks like I'm gonna need protection in more ways than one now.
Well, let's see. Where were you aiming?
Oh, forehead. Middle of the forehead.
Oh, God. Okay.
It was point blank, remember. The barrel was pointed and pressed against his forehead.
Yeah.
Okay. God. All right. I'm going to roll damage, I guess. Oh, boy.
It's 48 plus 2.
Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, boy.
That's 1 raise.
Okay.
If I need to, I will pull the trigger again.
No. You said you pulled the trigger and left. No takesies, backsies.
To be fair, I assumed he'd be dead. If he's not dead, I will pull it again.
Yeah, but are you going to wait after the first shot long enough to determine?
I can.
Are you going to risk being caught
How
for
long
that?
is a round?
6 seconds.
You don't know if there were any of his neighbors home. There could be someone
but an
literally.
6 seconds is not gonna make the difference.
You know what? I'm gonna roll. Oh boy.
I don't mind double tapping a person.
Actually, let me see what the damage was.
Give me.
Not quite.
I'm going to say, give me a. Let's go with give me a cognition-based medicine roll.
A cognition-based medicine roll. I do believe I have just straight up medicine as a skill. Hold on. Where is it? Where's medicine? Oh, I thought I'd taken medicine.
Apparently
I
not.
didn't.
Okay, so that is that's a cognition die -4, I think.
Sure. So it's a D8. 6, so 2.
He looks dead.
All right.
Okay. So you fire once. You can hear people in neighboring apartments
Yeah.
loudly reacting to that.
I will leave.
Okay.
Dismantle my gun as I go.
Okay.
And yeah.
Give me a Oh boy. Give me a Let's see. Do you have Oh god, I think that's give me a tinker and roll using deftness as you try to, while running, dismantle a gun.
Could I argue that gunsmith would be more appropriate than this?
That's right. I think you do have. Yeah.
I have 3 levels in gunsmith.
I will say you can use
Using deftness. That's fine.
Yeah.
But so it's just 3d12.
Yes,
for
and
me?
this is
Yeah,
I'll
just roll a
say
straight up
this
deftness
is going to
check.
be pretty hard. I'm going to put it at like a 9.
19.
Okay. Yeah. You are apparently you were just born to murder. You shoot Ebe Hansen and you just book it. As you're booking it, you are actively unscrewing and sliding parts apart, putting them in pockets of your coat, in pockets on your bag.
Yep.
And yeah, you oh boy. Now can you give me a sneakin' roll? And this I think is going to be probably the most important one.
That's absolutely fair. There it is. 18.
Okay.
Jesus Christ!
All right. let me roll the neighbors. Let me first roll to see. Okay. On your way out, there are 5 potential people that could notice this. I am going to roll cognition for each of them.
Absolutely valid.
Oh god. Okay.
You know what I think would be fun?
All
We
right.
don't know if she was seen.
Before I say the results,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to spend any fate chips?
I don't have any.
Okay.
This one I shouldn't have. I already used it.
As far as you know, no one saw you.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Jesus Christ.
So now that you know that the message that the courier did not read never left your father's office, where do you go?
Well, now it's pretty late, so I'm gonna go back to the hotel and have a
of course,
comfortable night's
don't
sleep.
want to be found breaking and entering after murdering a man.
Hey, look, I can go during the day.
Okay.
The next day,
circus comes to town. Lower down on the page. Man found mutilated in apartment.
I'm going to go to the courier services. Find the manager in question.
Steve Johansson, yeah.
Yeah. And I will be like, a missive was sent to my father. But we do not know who it was sent with. Would it be possible to get a name? And I will slide $50 over.
Holy! Not only Did you murder a man in cold blood?
Well, I said he was mutilated. I didn't say he was killed.
Yes.
He's currently in the
Attempted
intensive
murder.
care unit, but we don't have to tell Brigitta that.
Does an ICU exist in 1876?
Essentially.
His brother not just hacking off his head is a way to fix it.
Oh god. Okay, but
And now you're dropping $50.
Yep.
Steve looks at it and says, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry, miss. That was made with our anonymous service. I couldn't tell you who it is. I don't know."
All right. Thank you. And stay safe. I hear there's a murderer around.
The
Oh.
fucking audacity of this bitch.
Uh-huh.
All right, where are you going now?
Yeah, I'm just gonna start
You're
making
fucking
plans to
pulling a
return home.
BTK.
You're not even going to your dad's office?
Well, his office is it here? I thought he was.
Yeah, it's
back
in
DC.
Chicago.
Oh, then I thought it was in DC.
No, he has an office here
Okay.
too.
Okay. No, then I would go to his office. Okay, no, I would do that first then.
Okay.
That is my misunderstanding.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Whew. Oh boy. Okay. So
And here I thought me dropping that I have a wife was big.
okay, so yes. You are able to pretty easily get in there. How long has it been since your father passed?
I assume however long the journey, like plus to Chicago plus a couple days, like the journey from DC to Chicago plus a couple days.
So I would say then that like you have documentation that you would have brought with you that confirms, yeah, this is the daughter of this foreign ambassador. You would be able to have people there who know, oh yes, I've seen you before. You are the daughter of this foreign dignitary. So yeah, like under the assumption that she's probably here to just collect her father's effects, they let you in.
And then I will ransack this fucking place.
Okay.
No book, no like nook, nothing is not being like picked up, opened, flipped through everything. There's nothing that goes untouched.
Okay. All right. So I don't want to go through the trouble of completely describing this place. It's your father's office. It's the office of a dignitary. There's files and storages. There's desks. There's books on shelves. There's flag on the wall. All of these sort of things. Give me a straight knowledge roll, since it is about your father, who you know, I would say fairly well, +3.
Yep. Okay. 17.
Okay. You remember from a offhanded story that while your father keeps most of the documents that he needs to keep track of in this one drawer on the side of his desk, there are others that he takes a little more careful efforts in trying to hide them. And you pull that drawer all the way out, and kneeling down and looking up at it from underneath, you can see there are some papers that have been with just a little bit of adhesive tape secured to the bottom of the sliding drawer.
All right. Yeah. I will make sure I go through all of it.
All right. And you do find the last of those messages is a telegram that had been sent to him. The day around which was probably the last time you would have heard directly from him. It doesn't have a listed sender, but it simply says, "It's almost time for the experiment's end. Stop. Bring it to location City L for tests. Stop. Your sentiments will not halt the project. Stop."
Can I have a copy of that in writing?
Sure.
Thank you. Or my notes.
Right.
City L, is there anything that rings a bell with that? To like any of my knowledge?
All right, let's see. You know what? I'll say let's do another knowledge roll, and because these are places that your father probably could have mentioned or might have even taken you to at some point, give me a area knowledge. I guess you could use home county for it. That would probably be the closest.
7.
All right. So there are a couple of offices that you know your father took his business in. There's the one in DC, the one in Chicago here. Then there are 2 others in 2 of the other high Swedish immigrant population areas of the country, one in Minnesota and one in Kansas. With a 7, I think without like specific maps of the area, you might not remember particular city names. But presumably it starts with an L.
Yeah. All right. I will likely go to do some research in that case.
Okay. All right. So looking through. So looking through there, you spend the next day going through the cities and townships that would have been nearby any of your father's offices, and you come up with 2 that look suspicious. One of them is Lindstrom, Minnesota. The other is Lindsborg, Kansas.
And Lindsberg, Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. That's about all I can give you from that.
All right. Yep, that's absolutely fair.
Hopefully,
yeah.
you'll have been able to redirect your murderous vengeance to at least a different state.
Oh, I mean, yeah. More murder is coming. It's just a matter of time.
I had a feeling.
About to be bloody Kansas.
Or Minnesota. Now I need to figure out a way to convince my friends to join me in that direction.
All right, just typing up this telegram for you.
Thank you.
Okay. There you go. That should be visible to you.
There, yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. And last but not least for our initial go-through of everyone, how does Xenobia spend her time in the week following the battle with the Heart of Darkness?
I don't know how I'm gonna follow that act.
Well, I mean, you don't have to murder someone.
There's more than one way to skin a baby.
Yep. So Xenobia, out of everybody at this party, she is likely handling this the best. As this is very much, what life in her family is like. That giant cannibal blood fucking monster, that's basically a cousin to her. So, she also passed her fear check and killed it. So she's very much like, this is just a Tuesday as far as she's concerned. So she makes no effort to like go out of her way to avoid people. She'll say hello to people if she sees them passing. Very much like this is just any other day of the week, and we did not do all these horrible things. There are a couple things that she wants to be doing over the course of the week. One is to go to the library and research more occult stuff, and just kind of schmooze with the magic adjacent librarians. Number 2 is learn some spells. Number 3 is do more research into the demon ritual that she copied down. And if time is available, she also will, just do some research about potentially disappearances in the underground and everything for trying to follow up about her relatives.
Okay. Oof, that's a lot to go through.
But the learning spells thing is just a couple rolls, so it's not really that in depth of a thing.
All right, I think we can probably start from there.
Okay. I'm going to make some checks. Okay. So I'm trying to learn potentially 2 spells over the course of this week, but probably only 1. All right, so occult. I got a 9, plus 1 is a 10. That is enough to learn a spell. It will take 1d6 days minus 1. It'll take 4 days to do that. So I won't be learning 2 spells.
Okay.
So I'm going to spend 5 bounty points, and I am going to learn Soul Sight.
All right.
Okay.
What does it look like as she's studying?
Well, she's got her Welsh arcane tome. So she's researching, how to basically basically do like a prick to her fingers and just kind of like smear the blood on her eyes so that she can be able to start picking up on the auras of people and things. But she's doing that in the grace of her own room.
That's right, you have one of the private rooms.
Yeah.
All
So she's
right.
trying to attune herself to basically pick up on the life/arcane auras that somewhat resonate in the hunting grounds so that she can view them when she activates the spell.
All right. So then, with that taken care of, I think. Oh, do you contact Charlotte at any point?
That would I don't think so yet, because I don't
Okay.
really have anything Charlotte adjacent yet, because that's all about looking for my one family member. So that's part of what I'm trying to look into, is to get more information about that family member and potential disappearances. So I don't really have a reason to talk to her at this point, I think.
Fair. All right. So if you are going to be doing research, let's see. Well, you now have access to the library, which is certainly going to help. Let's call it a general. Let's call it a general knowledge roll with a +3 for any topics relating to the local area.
Okay. Oh boy. Let's see how the spiciness goes. That's a 7.
Okay.
My
Yeah,
1d10.
spicy.
All right.
Definitely spicy.
What is a question that you want answered that you could find an answer for looking into local information here?
Let me see. So for looking for local information, in particular, are there, given like specifically known kind of hovel shanty setups or whatever that the dispossessed have in the underground? Like, are there specific places that might have gatherings of them down there?
All right. I think that with a little bit of research, you're able to find that there's not necessarily specific underground places that dispossessed people have been using. There do tend to be a lot that sort of congregate around the rail yard. That seems to be because there's so much activity and machines, it produces a lot of heat, which is very good for this time of year. There's also at least a couple of efforts at outreach, like for instance with the box car, I can't remember what they call it, the boxcar congregation. Beyond that, there is still a note. There is a another place that is looking to start up soon, called Hull House, Hull. It's a fairly recent transaction, but it looks like a old mansion was bequeathed to a couple of women who are trying to start up a not really a halfway house, but a support system, a welfare home, I suppose, maybe, for the dispossessed and more vulnerable in that sense communities of the city.
Yep.
Nothing about anyone underground, though.
Yep.
Although it looks like in a couple of weeks they're going to be trying to open the first of the subterranean railway stops. There's supposedly going to be doing some testing for it later this week.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, I did my good work with the librarians. I returned to that book and everything.
They're very
So,
appreciative.
yeah, very much becoming a woman of the people there. Um, I guess one thing would be actually having to find men because they're poor. They like poor people, and so they would probably be helpful for talking to the dispossessed.
Mm.
Um, and then the uh the follow-up would, I guess, be looking more into about the women of the Hull House, because if I was designing an adventure, that would easily become Hell House.
Actually, that is a historical location and event.
Huh, neat.
Yeah. But
Man, historically, it was probably a Hell House.
but I will make note of that. All right. All right. So I think we can. Is there anything else you wanted to do during your downtime week?
No, with my remaining days, I would probably just try and get as much information as possible. Also about where the stops and stuff are going to be, and everything else would be I need other members of the party for.
All right. It's pretty easy to learn about those stops since obviously they want to promote such a big going on. You're able to get a map of the city pretty easily. I would say okay. I think I have an idea here. Give me it's probably going to be pretty hard at this point. A cognition roll because I can't think of a better particular thing for this.
A 6.
All right. There is an awful lot of stops planned eventually, but initially they're going to start off with just 7 stops. They sort of go in different areas around from the center. There's sort of a central circuit, a loop, if you will, that goes through most of the city that they're planning for.
Gotcha.
The actual lines themselves don't really follow a loop very well. There's some lines that seem like they go off in a random direction for some potential future project. There's others that kind of cross between different parts of the loop. It's a little messy, but it looks like about as good as anyone who's trying to design a subway system that doesn't have the concept of a subway system to work off of could come up with.
I gotcha. All right. Well, that's basically me. I'm glad I took like 10 minutes of this.
Let's see. So, during this time, also, August does have something that he wants to to get off his chest, so to speak, but I'm going to leave that for him to actually be able to do himself. But he's taking some time to check in with the boxcar congregation that runs out of the train yard. He occasionally is finding people calling for his services. You don't necessarily know which services, I suppose, in different corners of the city here or there. He's busy with his own things. But I would like to circle back quickly to Parrot first.
All right.
Do you do you further check in on anything that you have during all of this? Like any of the things you want, I should say.
I did not have plans.
All right. Do you want to check any of the stuff you got out?
Nah.
Okay. This is fine.
I'm sorry. I don't have any ideas.
All right. Well, give me a cognition roll. You might still notice, even if you're not actively trying to discern things, because you at some point had to have taken the things that you won that night out to put them somewhere safer.
Seven.
Okay. So on a 7, you find that there's the ticket that you've already used. There's Hoyle's Book of Games, which we'll get into if you wanted to use that later. The two other things that you notice, the first is the fragment of a horseshoe. It has sort of an unusual feeling quality to it. It feels somehow more stable, for lack of a better word. Something about it feels something about the metal feels good. It just feels good to have with you. The other thing that you notice, the only other thing outside of the book and the Crossroads Circus ticket that had any writing on it, is the faded gold paper ticket. On one side, it says, admit one party to the Columbiana Express line. Then beneath that, in smaller text as a little tagline, anywhere you want to be, Midnight Express guaranteed. And you notice on the back of that, there is writing that someone scrawled into it. It says, don't eat, don't drink, don't trust, but the ride works. And there's a little authorial signature of NJ.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll be careful on the ferry train, I guess.
Well, let me also. Ooh, okay.
Surely nothing bad can happen if you ride a Fey train.
Well, I mean, look, there are very specific rules. Don't eat, don't drink, don't trust. But good train. I'm sure if you just follow the rules, it would be fine.
Don't give them your name or your gender. That's how they get you.
That's true.
Just like the government.
Well, I would say for there, let me draw cards for something real quick. Okay. Not a terrible hand. I can work with that. There is, on the third day. What have you been doing, by the way, during these days since that those first couple of nights?
Mostly sleeping and drinking and playing darts.
Okay. So you're largely staying within the Outfitters as a facility.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I think another day after that, there is a knock at your door, and there is a bellhop there. Excuse me, is there a parrot here?
Yeah.
Oh, here you are. Telegram. And they head off on their way, leaving you with the telegram.
Okay.
Opening it up, it says, Dear Parrot, stop. Miss you. Stop. Will be in the bar downstairs tonight. Stop. If you like, stop by. Stop. Love. EM ampersand capital M. Stop.
M&M, that's cute.
Ooh.
It's up to you. No pressure.
I don't think Parrot would go unless like forced.
Understandable. So you stay in your room?
Yeah.
Okay. Later that night, there is another knock at the door.
Oh no.
Subtlety. I know writers who use subtlety. They're all cowards.
I'm gonna look through the peephole.
It's a bellhop. The bellhop just sort of stands there awkwardly and gently knocks again.
I'm gonna open the door.
Oh, this is another telegram for Parrot.
Do you really need telegrams from people that are in the city? Can't you just write notes?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I just deliver these. I don't question them.
What does it say?
So the bellhop turns to head down the hall, and you wait to see him gone as you turn around to take a look inside, and it says, "Wow!" exclamation point. Stop. Such a meanie. Stop. We just followed him up this time. Stop.
I slam the door.
There is a foot that is jammed in that door.
Break it.
Parrot very sheepishly opens the door.
Wait, this is the room we share, correct?
Unless you
Yes.
took me up on the offer for the single room.
No.
Am I in there?
You're in the room if you want to be in the room.
I might as well be in the room. I am startled and in a fighting stance.
Fantastic. Okay, so you sheepishly open the door.
Yeah.
You see a very similar looking set of two faces. They have this tanned complexion. Their hair is slightly frizzy, slightly wavy curls that goes down. One has it pulled back in a plate. The other leaves it swept off to a side. They're both very small, very lithe people. And they are looking at you with alternating expressions of incredulity, as if to say, really? And good-natured exasperation. So, are we allowed in, or?
Parrot just kind of freezes for a second.
Oh no.
Who are you?
The other one pipes up, "Ooh, who's your friend? Are you seeing each other?"
Yes, I see her. I'm not blind.
Oh my gosh, Parrot. You go so fast.
I'm not fucking man.
What?
She sighs and does that little like sidestep to invite people in.
All right. Emiliana and Matilda Suarez enter the room. Oh, nice place you have here. So, if you're not shacking up, what are you going up to? Yeah, we got your money. Come on now, Parrot. We both learned some of the same old tricks. You really don't remember? You don't remember when the mesmerist showed some of us how to read stories of objects? It must be getting sloppy.
I'm just in town making some money.
And you didn't say hi?
No.
Was it something we said?
No.
Barrett, who are these people?
She groans and like pulls out the chair from the desk in the room and sits down and goes, I was in the circus with the twins.
That would be us. Hi.
Twins.
I'm Emiliana. And Maddie. And we were circus sisters. Circus siblings, I suppose. I feel like I haven't seen you in a dog's age, though. No, it's okay. Go on.
I can't. I can't stay with people, you know that.
You're worried your bad luck's infectious?
It definitely is.
I mean, we were fine for all the time up till then. Why wouldn't we be fine after that, too? We can take care of ourselves, too, Parrot.
I couldn't.
You're
I started having
infectious?
dreams about my paw, okay? And I had to leave.
You see that they're momentarily quieted by that. I always knew that you had plenty of other things going on in your noggin. Most of us kids were. We all had something going on. But hell, that don't mean we don't miss you any less. If you have to leave to figure out whatever you have to leave, fine. Just don't do it without saying bye, or at least I think what Maddie's trying to say is she misses you and wanted to talk more with you sometimes. Concern it. Millie, just keep your empath stuff to yourself. I don't need other folks talking for my I know, I know. You know, I just Millie.
This entire time, Min is still frozen, like ready to attack if need be. Just darting eyes back and forth between the conversation.
Is is they okay? Are they okay? Just sort of. All right. Well, get out of your hair if that's what you want. We're just. It would just be nice, I suppose, if we were able to at least keep in touch with someone we were done raised with.
Parrot gets up and puts a hand on like each of their shoulders. Uh, pe- pe- people who love me die. I can't.
Fine, so you can't spend any time around people you care about, huh? I don't think that's what Parrot meant by that. Made. Fine. But if you feel like you're the only one who's risking things to be able to stay in touch with you, then well, you ever thought maybe you're worth that risk to some people?
No.
Not a character. Parrot.
Then you're still just as much of a plum fool as you were when you left, aren't you?
I guess.
Millie reels back and slaps Maddie on the back of the head. Hey, that was very impolite. Look, Parrot, I know that you got your own things going on that's causing you a lot of head and heart hurting, but couldn't we at least still talk? Don't have to be round us for that. We've learned plenty of how to take care of ourselves too. There's all the rest of the circus too. You don't gotta keep us close, just I don't like being forgotten either.
Parrot is doing that thing where like you're about to cry and you're like trying to make it look like you're not touching the edge of your eye and like you're trying to blink them away. And
rolling scrutinize.
I'll check up on you guys. Okay?
You see Millie visibly brightens at this, and Maddie is of a similar disposition of trying to still seem very stern about this. Well, that's good. That's all we were asking for anyway.
But if
it's not like we missed you.
If anything happens to either of you,
you'll kill us?
If you die, I'll kill myself and haunt your ass.
Yeah, well, if you die, I'll kill myself, everyone in the room, then Millie will kill me. It's true, I would.
But if Millie's in the room, then she's with the people you already killed.
That didn't make any fucking sense.
I'm too capable. I simply won't be killed when I am killed. I do not die when I'm killed.
She pulls them into a very quick, very tight hug and says, "Get the fuck out of here."
Alright, but don't think you're escaping us again that easily.
She's pushing them out the door.
They leave.
Parrot is not looking at Min, like not showing her face. But just, sorry about that.
You're okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Min, hold on, let me scrutinize.
Okay.
Can Min tell she is crying?
Big numbers. It's a 3.
I have nothing in scrutinize.
Do you want to spend anything?
Do you want to do a counter roll? You might actually win.
Yeah.
Persuasion, maybe?
Bluff?
I would allow bluff.
My bluff's real good.
We'll find out.
Oh!
Okay.
It's close. It was close. So 3 versus a 5. But
that's not too far off.
Mm.
Well, let me put it this way. Do you want Min to know, or do you want the bluff to be successful?
I don't know what's funnier, Min knowing or Min not knowing. You call it.
See, I think it would probably be more if Min is comically bad at being able to read people. I think it's funnier if Min is able to read you in this moment.
Min comes up to your side with a concerned look on their face. Doesn't say anything, just concerned look. And then pulls out a locket from underneath their clothing. They pop it open, and it starts playing like a very soft classical piece of music, and shows a very plump, beautiful woman in cameo, and not in cameo, an actual photograph. I know. I know.
Ooh. We are right on the button for 9 o'clock. I think that might be I think that might be an ideal button for the episode too. So all of y'all, you can check back in with me at any date between now and our next game, and I will have some more specific material things that I can include in your love letters that we've been writing here tonight. Except weirdly Brigitta's. I pretty much left everything I had for Brigitta on the table. I will say one other thing for Brigitta.
Yep.
One of the stories in the newspaper the next day is it is man found brutally shot in apartment, barely survives. I don't remember who shot me. Survivor testifies.
Makes sense with that kind of damage.
Yeah. Okay. So when we next meet up, we have a stiff-legged spook in Chinatown. We've got the hauntings of a hellish hole house, perhaps. We have stories leading to strange doings in circuses and Swedish L cities, whatever those may be. And we'll also have mystery little stories that I'll be working on with August. But I think for now, that is a good place for us to wrap. Thank you all very much for hanging out and watching with us. We're gonna run back real through, flipping the top to bottom this time, starting with Xenobia.
Hey everyone, I'm Cydia. I stream on Mondays and Wednesdays. Check out my D&D campaign on Mondays. Wednesdays I do art and games. Go check me out. I look forward to seeing you.
All right. Next up, we have Hemlock.
Hemlock, I make VTuber models. I would say that I try to stream every Tuesday, but next Tuesday I'm seeing Baby Metal.
Hell yeah, I'm
That's so
jealous.
cool.
It's the fucking Baby Metal Death Clock tour. I'm so excited.
Oh my god,
Sounds so
I am
cool.
doubly jealous.
Oh my gosh. All right. And then we have Ellie.
My name is Ellie or Eliador. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, or whatever else. Yeah, I stream very, 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 very occasionally. I want to get back into it, but the ADHD paralysis is a thing.
I don't think there's I was gonna say I don't think there's a single neurotypical person in this call, but then I remembered Obsidia is surprisingly neurotypical. Look, we had to make sure we had one for token diversity. You know how it is.
It's my lot in life.
And finally, Epitome.
Get your flu shot.
And we'll be continuing with more of these strange tales of the weird West. Hopefully, with all 5 of our pernicious posse. Pernicious, that I'll have to find a better P word for the alliteration. We'll
Precocious.
precocious. There we go. We'll return with all 5 of our precocious posse next time for more adventures. Although hopefully between then and now, we'll have decided which adventures we want to go with next. But until then, hi, I'm B. You've been watching my channel, so if you found me, congrats. You found me. I don't know what else to say there. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll tune in again next time. And for YouTube, goodbye.